past the hour, 66 degrees in downtown Sylacauga on a busy Friday morning. We're joined by Cindy Pennington, Talladega County Revenue Commissioner of Talladega County. And Cindy, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us this morning. 4 years ago,
4 years.
you were elected, and right when the pandemic started.
Right. I mean, it was like I was sworn in one day, and the very next day, the county commission felt the need to go ahead and close the courthouse to the public, as were a lot of public buildings closing right then. So yeah.
What a start, right?
It was.
So what's happening at the Revenue Commissioner's office? I know it's going well.
Things are going well. Busy as always.
Yeah.
Summer, some folks may think that summer is a downtime in the property division because we aren't collecting any taxes right now, but actually we're getting ready to collect for this coming fall in October.
So for people who may not know, explain what the purpose is of the Revenue Commissioner's office.
Okay. The purpose is to collect and to then remit out ad valorem taxes, and those are in this county, it's property taxes, vehicle taxes, business license, the driver's license, and the conservation license, that's hunting and fishing.
Mm-hmm.
So this revenue office in Talladega County is a little unique. Some revenue offices in the state only do property. Some of them do property, and also they do vehicle tags,
mm-hmm.
titles, but very few do the business license and the driver's license and conservation, as I said.
So when I go into the Talladega County Revenue Commissioner's office, which is a courthouse here in Sylacauga, and I pay money for my tag, mm-hmm. I'm making that check out to Cindy Pennington.
You are.
But it doesn't go to you.
Oh, absolutely not. No, it really doesn't pass through my hands at all. It, of course, deposited in the bank, and then our accounting staff remit that money to the agencies. And when I say agencies, I mean the cities of Sylacauga, Talladega, Childersburg, Lincoln, and so on and so forth. The school systems. We actually have 4 school systems in this county.
Mm-hmm.
Talladega City, Sylacauga City, County, and then we also have Oxford City Schools get a portion, because Oxford city limits, as strange as it sounds, some of it is in Calhoun County and some of it is in Talladega County. It is crazy.
Yeah. So really all the monies generated in Talladega County as far as taxes go through the Revenue Commissioner's office. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then are sent out, like I said, to the agencies. Also, the county gets some, the state, and so on and so forth. So we have an accounting staff that is busy. They are very busy.
So how many offices do we have here in our county?
4.
Okay.
We have the main office in Talladega, one here in Sylacauga, one in Childersburg, and one in the Montford-Oxford area.
Now, everywhere else you look, there's staffing issues. What about with the Revenue Commissioner's office?
Occasionally, we do have a little hiccup here and there, just if someone, has to retire or leaves. Sometimes it's hard to find someone who is willing to work. Government jobs don't necessarily pay maybe as much as the
mm-hmm.
private sector,
mm-hmm.
but we have some wonderful benefits.
Great benefits.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what's new with the Revenue Commissioner's office now?
Well, this year, starting on January 1, the new statewide titling system was implemented, and the acronym for that was ALVIN, the Alabama Vehicle Information Network, which is tied in nationwide. And so that was a new statewide titling system, not only for vehicles, but also for boats. So starting in January, all new boats had to have a title. If you went down here to Sylacauga Marine and bought a boat,
mm-hmm.
brand new boat, then it has a title this year. And so if you had bought it in January and you sell it to me this month, then I would have to do a title on that boat, just like I would if I bought a used car from you. So.
I've been in the courthouse and people come in and titles are so important, aren't they? I mean,
They're
man.
very important. They are. And the state, as I understand it, felt the need to do this after hurricane, I forget the name of the hurricane, but several years ago down in the Gulf, and many of the boats were displaced. And it was hard to identify who they belonged to. So they felt like this might help remedy that situation.
I haven't talked to you since you received a nice award recently. Talk about that.
Thank you very much. Yes, our in the property tax and also in the, I'll just say the ad valorem tax world, we are allowed and encouraged to take continuing ed classes. Auburn University Center for Governmental Services is responsible for putting those classes on, and the in conjunction with the Alabama Department of Revenue, they partner in that. And those classes can consist of anything from tags and titling to mapping and appraisal and collection and remittance and so on and so forth. And so after so many of a certain number of classes, you are eligible to sit for an exam in your field, whether it's mapping or appraisal or what have you. And also the officials, the tax officials, are encouraged to sit for a comprehensive exam, about a 4-hour exam. And so after I had the classes I needed, I did sit last September for that exam and passed the exam and actually received my certification last week.
Yay, way to go.
Thank you.
Wow, that's quite an honor.
Yes, so I'm now a Alabama certified tax administrator.
Yeah, all right. Well, we're happy for you for that. Cindy Pennington, Talladega County Revenue Commissioner, our guest this morning, and 4 years she has served in this office. None of us like to pay taxes.
No,
it's just taboo, but it's got to happen for our company to work.
Yes. Things don't get done. Schools don't run if we don't have taxes. So nobody likes to pay them. I certainly don't like to pay them, but mine get paid just like everybody else's.
So what happens if, I know from time to time we have auctions where people just, for whatever reason, they just don't pay their taxes.
Correct. We had our lien sale auction in May of this year. It used to be a tax sale where we auctioned it off on the courthouse steps. Several years ago, the state of Alabama kind of learned from some other states and what they do. And this is a much cleaner, more effective, more fair to the taxpayer, I believe, way to do things. And it's called a lien sale, where we don't actually, the buyer does not actually buy the property. They buy a lien on the property. And the winner actually is the person that bids the lowest interest, not the highest interest. And therefore, the original owner, if they can possibly redeem it in the next 3 years, then it's not going to cost them as much as the old type of tax sale would have to redeem. So it's just much more fair to the taxpayer.
I see all kind of car license tags, personalized tags, and I see this and I said, that's pretty unique how they come up with some of these names, you know. But that costs a little bit more, however, doesn't it?
It does. It's $50 more per year to do that.
Okay.
But I'm like you. There are some people put a lot of thought into that.
Yeah, absolutely. So for seniors, talk a little bit about seniors and how Talladega County Revenue Commission's office can help them with their taxes, as far as, we've got property taxes coming up again before too much longer.
Yes, anyone 65 and older can come in and sign up for a partial exemption. You get the state portion of your property taxes taken off. It's something you have to sign for. We don't automatically know when someone turns 65 unless they come and tell us. So you have to come in and sign for that. You have to sign every year for the next year. So if you're going to be 65 by this coming October 1, come in and sign for next year.
You got to do it every year,
You got to do it every year.
Yeah.
And if your income, your taxable income is $12,000 or less, then you can be totally exempt. Now, that amount, and I almost hate to say that amount because it's so low, you know, it was applicable years ago, but it's just kind of a ridiculously low amount now, but that's set by the state legislature.
Yeah.
So, it's my hope that eventually that will change, that our legislators will see fit to change that and raise that threshold a little bit to help folks.
Talking about hunting and fishing license and boating license and stuff like that, and you say, well, I've been doing this for years. I don't have to. If you get caught without a license, it can cost you big dollars.
Oh, it can. It can cost you some very big dollars, even if you're on your own property. Some people think that if they're fishing from their own pier that they won't get a ticket.
Really?
If they don't have a license. Some folks, you'd be surprised at the folks that think that, but that's not true. You can get a ticket on your own pier.
I would have kind of thought that.
No. No, you need to have that license.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else you need to add this morning?
I would encourage people, I always like to mention mandatory liability insurance
Oh, yeah.
on your vehicles. If you are going to change your insurer on your vehicles, be sure to have the new insurance in place before you drop the old insurance. If it lapses for even one day, you can bet the folks in Montgomery are going to know it. And you can also bet they're going to send you a letter and you're going to owe some money, so as a fine. So they take that real serious in Montgomery.
They're not going to forget you.
They're not going to forget you, and that's all kind of out of our hands. You know,
Yeah.
we're just the middleman on that.
Yeah.
So.
You know, years ago, we would get reminders that our driver's license is going to be lapsing, and you better watch that now because they don't do that no more.
They do not do that anymore, and often we'll have folks come into the office and say, I just wrote a check to so-and-so, or I just had to show my ID, and they said, hey, did you know your license has expired? And they'll run in to get it renewed. So yeah, it's always good to look at that every so often and see when it's renewed.
But you guys are always open for people to ask you questions, stuff like that.
Oh yes, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah. So is there social media outlets that they can get in touch with you guys?
Sure. I have a Facebook page. It's Cindy Pennington, Talladega County Revenue Commissioner. Just type in Cindy Pennington and that will come up on Facebook. The county has a website, www.talladegacountyaal.org, and there are links on that page to the Revenue Office as well as probate and so forth.
All right. Cindy, thanks for being with us this morning.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
All right. Cindy Pennington, Talladega County Revenue Commissioner, is our guest this morning, and we appreciate you joining us. We got more coming up after this.